Former Chippa United coach Vladislav Heric has made an interesting point about why Kaizer Chiefs should be appointing MUHSIN ERTUGRAL as their new coach. They are quite interesting and true. Hello and welcome to Kosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Kosi Football Club. So this man who coached Chippa United and some other teams in South African football obviously knows a lot about how South African football works. And one of the things that he first says in his interview with Kickoff is the fact that playing in South African football, you need a coach who's going to be strong. Reason being, people are very demanding. They want results and they want them now. The problem though with Kaizer Chiefs and how we're doing right now is that we have the players, but the coaches are actually not doing their job. And according to him, one of the main things, the first thing that Chiefs should fix is their aggression when it comes to how we defend. And think about it, the goals that we've considered some goals that I would consider soft. Goals where we're not aggressive enough in challenging for the ball. Like, look at how we ended up conceding the goal against SuperSport United. We lose the ball and we are not quick to close down the players and they end up scoring. You look at the goals that Hlanti has ended up giving away. He's not there to compete for the ball and be aggressive and do all those things. Players just pass through Hlanti easily and you're like, dude, what is happening? We are not a hard tackling team. We just let players go and then we accuse Sundowns of being a dirty team, but it's because we're used to watching our team not do that enough. And the moment Umteto actually came to Chiefs, you started seeing some more hard tackling, but from him and not the rest of our team. And you just look across, it doesn't seem like it's something that is demanded of the players by the coach, because coaches instill that in players, that go out there and make sure that you are strong in everything that you are doing, you are aggressive in everything that you are doing. And yes, people are going to say, but these other things that you are talking about, like Hlanti, those were player mistakes. But as the coach, are you addressing that? Because if it's one player who keeps on doing the same thing over and over again, one, you should be dropping that player. It's clear. But those players who are making those mistakes, like Hlanti, he's not been dropped. Because yes, someone will say, but there are no other options. Make other options. I mean, look at this. We took Ukwenika, we made him a right back while Frosler was there. So we could have played Frosler at left back. He did play left back against Stellenbosch because we were protecting Hlanti to play against Sundowns. And then Hlanti came in against Sundowns. He ended up costing us a goal. So you look at this thing, it's like the players who are underperforming, the coach in any case ends up protecting them. So prove to the players that I will bench you. You don't perform, I'll put someone else who's going to be in that position. And in that way, you are going to force your players to know that if I don't perform, I'm out of the team. Because the truth of the matter is, some people will say, but Mpilo, you must be patient with the players. And I will say to those people, are fans patient with the coaches? Because if you are going to say, I'm patient with my players, are the fans patient with you? Because at the end of the day, Mpilo sits here and is going to say, Ntsegi is not doing a good job. He's not saying, let's be patient with Ntsegi, because I've given him 8 games plus the cup games and we're like, I haven't seen anything. So I'm not going to be patient with him. So why is he patient with players who are not giving him anything? So we're not aggressive defensively. Heric continues to talk about how Chiefs are also not aggressive offensively. I'm also going to talk about something else that he says that relates to talking about aggression and how the coach actually manages players later on. But for now, just make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So when it talks about not being aggressive in the press, I've complained about this. One of the things that I've heard Jurgen Klopp say is that counter pressing is the best number 10. If you don't know what counter pressing is, it's basically after losing the ball, or when the other team has the ball, you press them, you win the ball back, and then you can create chances. So this is what happens. A team like Cape Town City is playing out from the back, and Chiefs just falls back and they set up midfield traps. Cape Town City is not going to fall for those traps. They will play the ball to their right back, and then when they are about to approach like the 30% mark of the ground where Chiefs starts pressing, then they're just going to kick the ball up front. So the press is not going to be efficient. These traps that you are setting up in midfield, they're not going to be effective because teams know that you're not going to press them in your final third, which is their first third. And then they're just going to play the ball out and then kick it. So they're going to surpass the midfield all the time. And since our defense is also leaking, we're not aggressive enough. We make mistakes. We end up conceding goals. But if we're pressing teams, then we will be causing chaos and havoc for these other teams. Look at our Sundowns. Yes, they robbed us Shalulile's goal. But still, in our first third, we pass the ball back, they run, they press us. And Sundowns will always be winning against Chiefs. Chiefs will always be losing against these other teams, and then we'll say, oh, we lost because of our mistakes. Of course you lost because of your mistakes, but you were never going to make a mistake if it wasn't forced on you. Tell the mistakes that we're making, it's not because, it's an own goal. Hlant was trying to pass the keeper failed to trap. No, the mistakes that we made are inflicted on us by our opponents. No one just makes a mistake without anything that makes them make that mistake. If there is pressure, teams are bound to make mistakes. And the best teams will always benefit from the mistakes that the other smaller teams are making. Kaizer Chiefs, what do? We sit back, we don't press these teams. And by not pressing them, we're allowing them to be out of a dangerous zone, which could be a goal-scoring opportunity for us. We're struggling creatively. So why not use the front press, the front foot playing that we are pressing you and we are forcing you to make mistakes. And then you are going to force teams to always go long. And if they go long against Chiefs, what do? We have 12 players at the back. We are going to win those aerial battles. Now we have the ball. Now we can start attacking you. No. Now what do? We fail to press them. Our midfield press is not working. They kick the ball behind. All of a sudden we're in trouble. So the press, I'm always going to say this. I think we're not doing enough. We're not playing as a team that wants to suffocate other teams. We did try against Sundowns, but we can do better. There are other smaller teams that asejwayele Chiefs kabi, just to say it bluntly. Asebejwayela kabi Chiefs. Bavele badlala ibhola through Chiefs ngoba bayazi ukuthi Chiefs ngeke ba press. That doesn't sit well with me. And this is a very important point. Number 3 is the fact that he says that Chiefs needs a coach who's not going to tolerate nonsense. I said this, that there's the positivity that I see in Kaizer Chiefs dressing room, and when the players go out for halftime, the others make a guardrail for them or guard of honor of sorts, and then they like shaking their hands and while they're walking out, which is good, right? It shows that we're together. But sometimes the team is losing 1-0 and you see Nsegi just there. Oh. It's like Kwaena, he's just out of ideas, one, but at the same time, it's like he doesn't know what to say about what's happening. You don't see him shouting at the players. You'll just see him pointing and just come across. Yeah, move, push. MUHSIN doing that. Have you seen Pep when he's coaching? Pep Guardiola, the best coach in the world right now, or even in the past 10 years, I will argue. Didn't win the Champions League, but he's been the greatest. Pep is winning. Look at Klopp. Look at the intensity Jurgen Klopp's eyes when he's coaching. Look at all these coaches that have achieved a lot of things in recent years. They are all aggressive on the touchline. You will not survive in these big teams if you are being soft as a coach. And I think he is soft. I personally think he is soft. Like, I understand the balance of his personality doesn't allow. But I want to see a coach shouting at the players when they're playing nonsense. I want to see the coach being angry when the players are not doing what he asked them to do. I want to see passion in his eyes. I want to see fire, to see that he's frustrated when the team is not playing well. I don't want to see a neutral facial expression from our coach while the team is losing. I don't want to see a neutral facial expression on our coach while the team is playing nonsense, while players are misplacing passes, while players are missing chances. I don't want to see that. I want to see the anger. I want to see the fire. There was this, Arsenal just finished second last season. Yes, they could have done better, but still no one was expecting them to finish in that position last season. When they are showing us the documentary of the team talks of Mikel Arteta, I'm not a big fan of vulgar and cursing, but you can see it's like, what the are you doing out there? You just can see he's mad. And that transfers to him, and the players can feel the energy of the coach, and they go out and they give it all. But if the coach is going to say, okay, guys, so as you can see, these guys are trying to push you into the midfield, so you should try by all means to not leave this space occupied. What? Abezwe, they must feel it. So I think this coach is definitely correct. And I don't know what you think. Do you think MUHSIN ERTUGRAL would be a good candidate to coach Kaizer Chiefs? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember, equals Alpelu Moya.